Hello there, guys and girls. This is the Russian Prince with another Rome 2 tournament match, and this is going to be the match between Diplomatt of Wolf Clan and Magma of Sith on Armavir. Well, this is game 1 of a best of 3, as this is part of the Blue Tournament, round of 16, aka round 3 in this tournament. So this should be an interesting match for sure, because it's boy against the Massilia again on Armavir, which is quite strange. I thought that Armavir wasn't in the map pool. Anyway, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna go over Diplomatt's build, who is actually playing as Massilia. Wait, I can't see it, so I'll go over Magma's build. I can't see the full Massilian build. Anyway, Magma, he has up front a bunch of sword followers. So he has, I believe, 5 sword followers. Right. In the back, we see 3 Oathsworns. One of them is his general, is a strategist general. He has only 3 heavy horse, interestingly enough. Does, however, have a good amount of levy freemen. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 3 levy freemen, pretty decent amount with the spear warrior. No, make that 4 levy freemen, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4 levy freemen and 1 spear warrior. So pretty decent. And then we see the Celtic skirmisher over here. As for Massilia, let's see. He's got he appears Lancer General. He is commander. On his left flank, we see Celtic warrior with what's this? 2 axe warriors, indeed. Massilian cavalry, 1 of those. As for his right flank, 1 he appears with the Massilian cav and 2 axe warriors. I still can't see the whole build of Massilia. Whoops, what am I doing? But, let's see, he's actually got 2 Celtic slingers up front. I can see that. And probably some units here hidden in the forest. More Celtics, it seems. Yeah, more Celtics. And the Massilian hoplite probably still more hidden in the forest, I suppose. We don't see, so axe warriors. Another Massilian hoplite. So he has like 6 Massilian hoplites? No. 4 Massilian, 5 Massilian hoplites. Probably a 6th one somewhere over here. Then anyway, since if you have 5, you might as well have 6, I guess. I don't know. Anyway. Let's see, because at the moment Boyd has a huge advantage. He can fight downhill. This would be really good for Boyd. We'll see how Diplomatt decides to engage. Already, I like this move by Diplomatt, flanking on his left. And not only will he attack the unshielded side of Boyd, but he will have his own downhill advantage right now. So this is actually really good for Diplomatt. I like this move a lot. Like, this could end up winning the game for him. However, he's going to engage frontally, maybe a little bit too soon, I feel. He's gonna go in with the axes here. These axes will get destroyed by sword followers. These Massilian hoplites will of course defeat Levy Freeman over these sword followers here. Actually, I've taken a lot of casualties. Are the Celtic slingers, are they doing some damage? Piers Lancers actually charged in here, got into the sword followers and didn't really take too much damage. Here, however, here comes the engagement. Ooh, Celtics will start throwing some jabs into the heavy horse, I feel. Boy is coming in and rushing into the Massilian line. However, Boy's right flank has kind of crumbled, and all these heavy horse here are not going to do well. The heavy horse engaged here is just going to get massacred. It's not going to be efficient at all. But Massilia can easily flank here, and it's just going to start crushing the line of Boy. However, he has to pull back this Massilian cavalry. Ooh, he takes a jab to the face. Definitely here isn't a cost-effective engagement for Massilia. But the flanking done here by Diplomatt is huge, and it's really going to help him in this game to do well. I really like how he's playing this, because basically it's max 8 of the same unit type, so you can only bring 8 swords. And that is why I suppose something like this could work. Still, Oathsworns on the field for Boyd. They could be huge in this battle, but I mean, they have to be engaged against these axes over here, because if the axes rear charge the sword followers, it's over. And it already looks pretty bad for Boy, like, to be fair. I mean, I did not expect this, but so far, very nicely done by Diplomatt here. The Celtics are starting to dish out the damage. It's actually gonna, Boy is gonna pull away nicely here, because since he sees that there's shield wall engaged on that Massilian Hoplite, these axes will die here. But I mean, does Boy have strong enough units? It still has, I believe, 3 Oathsworns, but this one doesn't need to be over here. This Oathsworn, I feel it needs to be somewhere over here fighting and helping out the other Oathsworn. It's kind of strange that he decides to engage here, because this sword follower doesn't need help. I mean, it's going to do alright on its own, even if it may lose. Problem is this engagement here, because sure, the Oathsworn will tank very well and kill some units, but it's alone, unsupported, it's still not going to be effective. And this heavy horse is off the field, Axe Warriors going through, Fuse Lancers are available for Diplomatt to keep charging. He got his Massilian Cap into the Celtic skirmishes. Oathsworns here killing Massilian cavalry, so micro mistake by Diplomatt, but I don't think it should really matter, because so many units are on the field at the moment for Massilia, and he's cost effectively getting rid of the Oathsworns here, and that's very important. The heavy horse did not much for Boy this game, and main line crumbled to flanking. Of course, this Massilian Hoplite, no chance against Oathsworns, but still, this Massilian Hoplite unit, same Massilian Hoplite over here, should win. Yeah, he got seriously outflanked. Like, this maneuver over here by Diplomatt is what won him the game. The fact that he was able to flank like that and was almost unopposed, it worked very well to his advantage. So the Oathsworn General here for Boy still on the field. They're gonna try and engage, but at this point, so many units left on the field for Massilia. Yeah, some of Boy's units are coming back, and this heavy horse will do alright for a bit. The General of Massilia is still on the field. He's got a lot of skirmishes left, so this game is basically over. Let's just zoom in and look at people killing each other. Of course, these Oathsworns here going to do well against the Hoplites, but that's only a small portion of this battle. Now they're gonna get rear charged by Hippias Lancers. And is this the general unit? No, it is not, but that Hippias Lancer has done very, very well for Diplomatt. These slingers here just... There they go, they're gonna start pouring in the fire into the rear of these sword followers. Very nicely done by Diplomatt. Now he's going to disengage his general, the general of Boy, and going to continue rear charging it to do as much damage as he can to it, basically. And now he's gonna go for the skirmishes. These swords here, they're strong, but they're not strong enough. Missed all those hoplites on the field. No way they can win. These are Celtic warriors. Celtic warriors look quite similar to Oathsworns, actually. It can be a bit difficult to differentiate them. But yeah, that is game 1, and surprisingly goes to Diplomatt in Massilia versus Boy. But again, you can see one of the main reasons. So Boy has 8 strong melee units. Massilia has 12. No, 13 actually. So it's 4 axes, 4 Celtics. It's basically 8 swords, and then you add on top of that 5 Massilian Hoplites to hold the center. This build is quite cool by Diplomatt. Just lots of pretty decent infantry on the field. Just look at these Celtics, and the axes didn't do much, but they did enough. They did enough. And the Massilians, like, they did surprisingly well this game. I'm very surprised. But anyway, that's game 1. We'll see how game 2 goes. So this is game 2 on, I suppose this map is Nemetasena. It's Schlacht von Nemetakum, I guess it's in German. Diplomat's Macedon, and we have Rome for Magma. Very good matchup for Rome, of course, but I want to see how Diplomat wants to do it, because last game it was also not very good for him in terms of matchups. We'll see though. I'm going to put it in... Should I put it in slow-mo? I guess I can. Let's see. Roman forces of Magma. He has an interesting mix of units. 2 Velites and a Syrian Archer. Quite strange. Normally you would only see Syrian Archers, if anything. He has 3 cavalry units, if you don't count his general. Basically 3 legionary cavalry. So not too much cavalry. Same as last game. We see the Legatus commander as well. And let's see, does have a few spears on the field, a bit surprising. He has 2 auxiliary infantry, as well as, is it 2 spear gladiatrices? No, it's 1 on his right flank, and I don't see any other. Oh no, he has another one here, so 2 of those basically. Interesting choice. And he has actually 2 Syrians and 2 Velites. Okay, I see. I just couldn't see this unit because they're overlapping the flags. In terms of mainline infantry, we see 2 Hastati on his left flank. Then a bunch of Evocatis over here. Seems like 4 Evocatis. Behind those, we have 2 armored legionaries. So again, as expected, it's 8 swords, because that is the maximum. Pretty decent build from Rome. A bit weird, but still should be quite effective against Macedon. Anyway, for Diplomat, who's playing as Macedon, we see a strategist companion cavalry general. 2 Thessalian cav on his right flank, 2 Thessalians on his left. In terms of skirmishes, he has, let us see, 2 slingers, 1 on each flank, and in the center, 2 mercenary Cretan archers. And wow, this is very peculiar. 1 archer on each flank, so a lot of skirmish units for both players actually. Quite interesting. Now for the main line, we do actually see 1 militia hoplite on each flank and a bunch of thoraxes. It's 5 or 6. Let's see, 6 thorax swordsmen. Alright, so let's see how the game goes here. Again, I would favor Rome, but again, I also favored Bowie in the last game for sure. But them losing to Massilia was a bit shocking, but I guess I can see why it would work considering the rules in the tournament. They do allow people to do quite well with factions that have strong hoplites and then like not so good swords, like decent swords or okay-ish swords, I should say, like say RDI or Massilia. RDA might do all right. Might have actually done all right against Bowie too, if in a similar situation. So I'm just gonna fast forward because apparently the game is gonna take a while. I don't want to let you guys go through all of it, of course, because it might actually be kind of boring. So let's see. Actually, it is 3 militia hoplites. I didn't see the unit in the front. I did not see them. So we already have some skirmishing going on by Diplomat. I do like that. Actually killed a man in this Evocati unit, so already starting to put on some nice damage. Auxiliary Syrian archers here getting destroyed by Diplomat skirmishing. Very well done by Diplomat here. I do like how he's handling this. And this skirmishing is just so good for him. He has to be careful though, because there's another Syrian archer on the field now. Over here, the militia hoplites were trying to engage the auxiliary infantry. Nothing really happening on this flank. Still, at the moment, I'm pretty sure that we have Macedon taking the better engagements. So Diplomatt continues to pour on the fire against those Syrian archers, and they're off the field without having done too much. In fact, this archer unit has taken quite a bit of damage, which is alright because it's very cheap, so it's serving as bait. It's still getting targeted by Rome, so this is quite peculiar. He's doing that. The thing about firing at those Syrian archers is that he can't fire at the infantry of Rome, and he can't, like, he's using ammo to kill them. So it looks good, but it's not necessarily good if he doesn't have enough ammo. But I just don't really see how Macedon's going to win this, because it's just going to be so hard. So we have here the legionary cav going into the companion cav going to the legionary cav, destroying them, but then taking some pilas of their own. And the engagement is starting all across the line, but I don't think it's going to go very well for Macedon. This is exactly what Rome wants, I think. On this flank, though, Macedon is going to win because it's just 2 Hastades. Spear Gladiatrix is here. Oh, this Thessalian might actually just lose without doing too much, unless he pulls them out of here. So Rome is going to end up pulling away his cavalry. His general is all the way over here, and he's not actually supporting these units, so these guys have routed very quickly off the field. The Thessalian cav going to be pulled away, and look at those archers and slingers just together. They're actually starting to do something, not doing too much damage though. So, and we see a Thessalian cav getting through into the Syrians. Here the engagement starting as well. Militia hoplites getting wrecked by spear gladiatrices, as you would see it. Companion cav over here, yeah, it's engaging these units, but I do wonder if that's actually good for Diplomatt, because sure, he'll be able to kill these units, but he'll take a lot of damage on his units, especially with spear gladiatrices and auxiliary infantry over here. Don't think that's too good of an engagement for him. And you can see that Macedon is just super outmatched in melee against Rome. These Evocatis destroying thoraxes, no problem. Legionary cav here will of course lose to Thessalians. In fact, this one unit here by Diplomatt is being forgotten. Not really using it. Legionary cav disengaging against companion cav, and look at this one auxiliary infantry getting some kills on the companion cav, so that's pretty important. Disengaging against the spear gladiatrices here. Ability is going to be off the field, but I mean, even if he kills these skirmishes, how is he going to win the main melee engagement? He has to go for like a lot of hammer and anvils, and he hasn't really been able to get them this game, I feel. I don't remember actually seeing any on the main line, and this is very important, because if Rome easily wins the main line, which is going to happen, I find it hard to believe that Macedon can out-skirmish. And very nice charge here into the archers. They will be off the field very quickly. And it's not looking too good for Macedon here. He might start trying to skirmish. I do like that he's targeting this one unit. It's going to take massive casualties in here. He wants to stop this one auxiliary infantry, but it doesn't care. It's just going to keep going through. A Legatus here trying to get into those skirmishes. Militia hoplites being engaged, but this is not a good angle for the Legatus. He does notice it though, and the Legatus has to be targeted. I don't see why he continues. Ooh, there's a bit of pulling through happening over here, I guess, against the militia hoplites. That's a bit weird. So militia hoplites here, companion cav. He's done some damage, but I do wonder if Macedon has enough to do this, because he's losing all those skirmishes to the Legatus. He may have had enough ammo and enough units to do it if he didn't lose these units, which he's losing right now basically for free. These guys only 24 kills. Sadly for them, the General of Macedon is off the field, and he's doing a lot of friendly fire with his own troops here. He should stop firing into this auxiliary infantry right now. It's just no point. He has to start killing these units. And this isn't good for Macedon. Just look. Oh, the cavalry for Macedon. Oof. Taking so much damage. This is not a good engagement. He's going to... He needed to keep his cavalry against the Roman cavalry because... Or should I say the Legatus. That's what he needed. And now he's just going to lose his 2 Thessalians by engaging these 2 units. Again, even if he kept those 2 units, it still would have been hard, but he would have had a chance instead of this. Because right now with those Thessalians taking so much damage and not really being cost effective by charging armored legionaries and Evocades from the front, like this is gonna be even more difficult for a Diplomat to pull out a win here. You see both players trying to reorganize. Rome's trying to pull away here. And some nice shots by these slingers though. Late game slingers should do quite well as all the units have basically taken a lot of hit point damage. So they should start leaving their mark on enemy units despite having a really low missile damage stats. Look at this here, trying to chase the mercenary Cretan archers, and they might get to it, but the Cretans will turn around and fire. Look at this, has taken HP damage and lost 6 men, so he might take a lot of damage to volleys, but actually looks like he's just going through it, no problem. 23 remaining. Going to continue kiting away, but he's gonna get caught. He's gonna try and make sure that, okay, if this Legatus continues coming for him, he's just gonna get shot by more and more units, so that's what the Diplomat's trying to do here, I think. So the Legatus gets in this significant damage to the Cretan archer, but he also loses 4 men in his Legatus. But that's alright for Rome, I suppose, because he still has so much infantry on the field. These Cretans will start firing, but this general, if this general was off the field right now, I would actually give, yeah, I would give a decent chance to Diplomat, but because of the general, it's gonna be hard. He's gonna send his Thorax unit over here, and if he uses it against the general, he's not actually using it against the general. This is going to be a bit late. The general will get in, but it might die here, so he's just going to disengage. Javelins onto him. He's gonna go behind here. More arrows being poured in onto the Legatus. Now we see Macedon kiting further and further back. Doesn't have much space here, so he has to kite this way. The way he's currently kiting, he won't get out. He's at the red line. Okay, he's caught. He's gonna have a really hard time breaking out here. He's gonna have to engage his militia hoplites and thoraxes and sacrifice them. And then if he kills the Roman general, he has a shot. He's still firing from the front though, and we missed that volley. That's pretty big, because at this point ammo is very important. These Cretans still targeting the armored legionaries, but not doing anything. And by continuing, basically at this point is when he should just kite and not even stop the fire, because what happens is that his units are actually fresh compared to mostly exhausted for Rome, it seems. Okay, no, some of his units actually aren't looking too good either. But basically, if you continue kiting away from Rome, like, you can get out of the sticky position, and then you will have the ability to kite freely. Because at the moment, the way he is positioned, there's no way he gets out of here. Like, there's no way Rome has him surrounded. Like, this is a huge mistake by Diplomat. The fact that he got into next to the red line here. He should have pulled back another way, and he should have actually not fired with his skirmishes until he got out of this next to red line situation, I think, anyway. And he's not even gonna get a charge bonus with his thorax swords. They're gonna get wrecked by the Evocati. Sending in militia hoplites against armored legionaries. Poor militia hoplites. Oof. Militia hoplites should start dropping very, very quickly. This Thessalian Cav trying to go for a rear charge on armored legionaries, but can't really do anything. Slingers here trying to target the flanks and the rear of this armored legionary, but it's not enough. He's losing more and more units here. The Krina Archer is actually turning on quick reload, but basically, at the end, like, what lost him was the fact that he couldn't... he just basically couldn't continue kiting with his units. And... yeah, while usually it's good to stop and fire, not in this case, because he was getting very close to the red line. He should have just continued kiting. It's not like there was cavalry that could catch him or an imminent threat. He still had the Thessalian cav. He could focus the Roman general with his skirmishes as well. So I don't really see why Diplomatt didn't continue kiting. That is very strange, in my opinion, anyway. So that is game number 2. Let's see. Let us see. Statistics. Evocati is doing well, and armed legionaries, as expected. Hastades got wrecked. Again, they get wrecked by thoraxes, because they're so cheap. And they're decent units, but not in the main line. Syrian archers didn't do too much because they got destroyed by Cretans in the beginning, and they fired at archers, so they wasted a lot of volleys on unimportant units, I suppose. The Thessalians did some work for Macedon, but not enough. And I mean, in the main engagement, he didn't get rear charges onto the Roman line, sadly for him. And if he doesn't, there's like no way he can win the melee engagement. But that is game 2. See you in the tiebreaker. So this is game 3 on Rugion. We have Diplomatt playing as Rome and Magma Tylus. Quite interested to see how this one actually plays out. I think that, well, as usual, you would give Tylus the advantage, but we'll see, because Rome definitely, maybe like 55-60% Tylus advantage, but Rome definitely has a shot with like strong Evocatis and then like veteran legionaries, maybe even Praetorians could do well. But okay, let's go over the builds. I'm gonna go over Diplomatt's build, who is again playing as Rome here. He has his general and bodyguard, not legatus. He is strategist general, surprising. But he does have 1 Syrian archer, so I guess that is probably why he wants to refresh his Syrian archer unit. Use quick reload. Very interesting choice. He does have a bunch of Vigiles as well. 3, 4, 5, 6 Vigiles on the field for Diplomatt. He also has some cavalry, a legionary cav with Saucy Equites Extraordinary on his left, and 2 Equites on his right flank. So what Vigiles aren't really levy freemen, sadly, for Diplomatt, because they don't have javelins. Not as versatile. Which means they can't deal with cavalry as well, they can't deal with horse archers as well, they can't deal with so elephants, horse archers, melee cavalry, and like they can't even support in a melee fight properly, because they're just not going to be able to throw javelins into important units such as Oathsworns and such. So that is why Vigiles aren't quite as good as Levy Freeman. Yeah, let's see his main line though. He has a veteran legionary with an Evocati on his right flank, same on his left, and a center composed of 4 Evocatis. So very strong Roman contingent here, brought by Diplomatt. And let's see what Tylus has. So Tylus here brought, let's see, 3 raiding horse on the field. Not 4, because 4 is actually allowed in this tournament. It's max 4 missile cavalry, I believe. We do see a lot of Levy Freemen up front. 3, 4, 5 Levy Freemen. Decent idea, because they will do well against the cavalry, and For instance, this Societas Extraordinary won't be as effective for Rome. It's a pretty decent unit actually to continue rear charging swords and so on. It's very good at that. Anyway, for the rest of the build of Tylus, we have actually Spear Warriors on the field. Peculiar choice. I mean, he already has 5 Levy Freemen. Why would you bring a Spear Warrior? I don't understand. He has 4 Tribals and 4 Oathsworns, so this is very strong. And his general is an Oathsworn, and he's a strategist, so that's still a pretty damn scary Tylus build. We'll see if he can make it work. So, Raiding Horse going around here, just skirmishing, so can probably just fast forward. We can see the Legatus trying to bait volleys from Raiding Horse, a bit risky. Ooh, some skirmishing going on over here. You can see the Equitus taking some damage to Raiding Horse. Well done by Magma here to skirmish with the Raiding Horse. He got into the rear with Rome, into the rear of Rome as well with this Raiding Horse. It's going to be very annoying for Diplomatt. And I mean, this is very nice play by Magma right now. Like, he doesn't need to move up. Like, he has the annoying Raiding Horseman that he can use to target the Roman the Roman cavalry with. Like, that's going to be important. He's probably going to go around and start targeting these Societas and Legion Cav, and Diplomat realizes it, so he doesn't want to give Magma that pleasure. Let's see. Let us see. Raiding Horse over here, still trying to get around and see what they can do. Magma is actually going to move up, and he will try to engage the Roman line. Has to be a bit wary of the auxiliary Syrian archer though, because it could significantly damage his units, his Oathsworn specifically. Like, if it targets the Oathsworn general, oh, it would be amazing. So Raiding Horse over here, actually getting shot at by veteran legionaries. Very nicely done by Diplomat there. He could get more jabs onto the Raiding Horse again if he desires, but veteran legionary is starting to take HP damage from the unshielded side and even in the rear now, so very nice here. But eventually he's again just stopping Rome from stopping Tylus from doing too much with the Raiding Horse. Yeah, basically he will do pretty well in melee against Rome. He should win it. It's up to Rome's cavalry use and the Syrian archer, if he wants to actually have a decent shot at winning this. So Tylus is going to pull back. Not a bad choice, because at the moment you see Rome is flanking him, and he's only got spears on this flank. This flank is quite weak for Tylus. He actually has 1 Celtic skirmisher. I'm not sure if I called out that unit. Pretty interesting. Of course, he still wants to do damage with the Raiding Horse, targeting the Equitus, doing some damage to them. But we see Diplomat moving further up. Again, Tylus moving back. He's going to start targeting the Legionary Cav if he gets some nice shots off. But again, look at these. These units are a bit buggy. Like, he's targeting the unit, it's in range, but it's not firing. He's actually targeting the center of the Roman unit, and center is not quite in range. And actually, look at this. They're moving up so far and forward, despite having the range. Oh, he has to be careful. He has to pull this unit back, or it's gonna get rear charged. Oh, massive mistake here by Magma. He's going to lose 1 Raiding Horse. There's absolutely no way he won't lose it. That is not a good engagement for for Magma. Well done by Diplomat to get rid of the raiding horse. He's going to continue pulling away here, and he might be able to do some HP damage. But thing is, he doesn't have Fire at Will on because he's scared of his units targeting wrong units. It seems still doesn't have it on, so or maybe the raiding horse are out of ammo. But I doubt it. It didn't look like they fired too much. Look, this unit at least has enough ammo. I'm sure both units do. But this is quite strange. So here he moves up again, but he's facing his units. Oh, again, massive mistake by Magma. He's gonna get charged. Yeah, this unit is off the field. I don't know what he actually wants to achieve with the raiding horse, because two of them got caught, and this one almost got caught. Look at how many units he's losing. He's basically losing the raiding horse already. So engagement's actually starting. Ooh, javelins into the Equites. This is into the Saucy Equites Extraordinary. Pretty cool actually to see that happen. Like they actually were able to get in range. A bit risky because if the Vigiles move up in time, Levy Freeman has a wrong attack order and it will get slaughtered in melee against Vigiles. So, but I did like that. Tribals here going to start engaging with the Syrians. Let's see what they're targeting. Ooh, are they targeting the Oathsworn General? No, they're targeting just an Oathsworn. It's still alright, but I would target the Oathsworn General. So that is the most important unit in a barbarian army, usually. So the Vigiles here are going to die to Tribals, but this means that there's going to be no charge for the Tribals, as there is a follow-up with Evocades going in here. They're not actually getting the best charge bonus though. And here, Armored Legionaries against Tribals. This is going to be an interesting fight. One that Armored Legionaries should actually do well in, though. I think that the Armored Legionaries will defeat the Tribals here. Engagements coming up over here. Evocades moving up. And the Oathsworns are still getting targeted. The Oathsworn General now is getting targeted. Very nice by Diplomat. He's not... I don't think he's popped precision shot yet, which I feel like he should on his Syrian archers, because why else would you bring a strategist general as Rome? I guess he just hasn't had the time to pop it. And the raiding horse is actually getting around and he's not using his cavalry, and the mainline engagement started, and looks like these Oathsworns will tank it out very well. But ooh, some mistakes here by Tylus, just overextending a lot. Now he's going to get rear charged. Oof. The first Evocade unit is off the field though, so that was pretty good for Tylus. However, his right flank isn't doing too well because of the Saucy Equites Extraordinary rear charging the Tribals. That is very good. Here the Evocades doing very well against Tribals. Still a very strange formation for the Evocades. They're so wide. And I think Diplomat's using formation attack, because look at how awkwardly his units move, and they're actually not doing as well as they could be doing. But here, this unit of Armored Legionaries is wrecking the Tribal. This raiding horse, though, actually got into the Syrian archers and didn't do too much damage. Syrian archers need to start using precision shot right now. He's got an Equites unit going for the Celtic skirmishes. Good move by Diplomat. Still the Saucy Equites Extraordinary on the field. Armored Legionaries destroying this Tribal Warrior unit still. These guys, these Evocades here, winning against Tribals too. Evocades losing to Oathsworns, obviously, but have done surprisingly a lot of damage to the Oathsworn. Some of Rome's units are coming back, but this rear charge into the Oathsworn will prove to be huge. Oathsworn is in shield wall, as is this Tribal, so technically Diplomat could actually pull out this Evocade and then charge it back in. This Evocade is just mopping up those spears without a problem. Maybe Freeman chasing the Equites and getting a lot of kills. Wow. Another rear charge here into this Tribal should be routed off the field with the Legionary Cav charge. Saucy Equites Extraordinary still ready to go for further rear charges. It's probably going to go for these units. Good choice. It's going to do massive damage on the charge. Let's see, 77 kills. However, we did see the general pull around, so it's not going to do as much damage as I thought. And in fact, the cabinet has taken massive damage. Look at how quickly it's losing men. Very well done, actually, by Magma there to turn around his general and fire at the Saucy Ectus Extraordinary and kill it in melee. He did pop Headhunt and Battle Rhythm now, though, so his unit should destroy these legionaries. These Oathsworns are getting surrounded, though. Same with the tribals. Nicely done by Diplomatt there. And looks like Rome's doing very well against Stylus here. Rear charging with Saucy Ectus Extraordinary again. These guys have done so much damage to Tylus. Vakadis against Oathsworn's own swords will win here, but not really cost effective. More cavalry charges here from Rome. Saucy Ectus Extraordinary still on the field. Oathsworn General going to get wrecked here by further cav charges. Not looking good for Tylus at all, so yeah, these units are also wavering and getting shot at by the Syrians. Syrians not gotten a lot of kills, but they've done important damage to units of Tylus. Spear War is actually trying to catch the Roman general, but not managing to do so. And it looks worse and worse for Tylus. Also in general over here getting destroyed in melee against the armored legionaries. So yeah, the armored legionaries are actually quite strong. Not as cost effective as say Evocadis, and they're a lot more expensive for what they do. But still, let's see the statistics. But anyway, Diplomatt wins 2-1 and advances over to the next round in terms of statistics. Oathsworns, Tylus, not much done, definitely not effective. Tribals got destroyed. Look at the Roman lineup, they did so well, surprisingly, and a lot of that was, I suppose, due to cav charges done by Rome and the Syrian archer doing HP damage. So very well done in that regard. And the flanking that Rome did as well against, in particular on Tylus's left flank, that was pretty good. But yeah, that's going to be it. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Share the video, and I'll see you next time.